So I'm smoking Brian Doran, super stubby, in the smoking shack here, the little garden shed. It's nice because it's all windows. It was kind of designed as a greenhouse, and so it's real light. But the sky is pretty dark, so we'll see what happens exposure-wise here. Days are so short up here in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm not much of a TV watcher. Oh, I'm smoking. What am I smoking? In this stubby little Brian Doran. I am smoking what a friend and I are calling 1883 mixture. So I have little baggies of what? I don't know. I can't tell. It's little dibs and dabs of this and that. Mostly non-aromatic, but on a lot of those the aromatic has dissipated. So it's hard to tell what it is. Some of it's pretty dried out. Well, it should probably go in the fireplace. But there's enough of it and enough with Cavendish in it, which tends to stay pretty humectant, rich and moist, So we just threw it all into a big mixing bowl and just mixed it up and called it 1883 mixture. I'll tell you why in a minute. So it reminds me of a Navy cut, a Navy blend, which usually has quite a bit of stuff in it too. This is a little more complex than that. It's got weird things going on. Tried to watch out for mold and mildewed tobacco. Maybe that's part of it, I don't know. Almost tastes like there's some Lakeland in there. Ugh. It doesn't take much to pollute a mixture. I tried not to have, but a lot of those baggies just are totally unmarked. You write in magic marker and then on the plastic baggie, and then it just sort of falls off. So the ones that were transparent taped on there with a label, those seem to hold up pretty well. So note to self. But yeah, there was probably 50 baggies of varying sizes, varying cuts, varying dark and light, and you name it. Some of them did have a label on them, and it was usually non-aromatics, but there were a few aromatics in there. And that reminds me of a Navy flake too, how there'll be just this little hint of an aromatic somewhere in there. I think that's what makes a Navy flake actually. So a little SE hat from Swedish Railways. When we took a trip up north to Abisko on the train, it was an overnight train, sleeper. It was really a fun trip, but it was so cold that the train froze up in Sweden. You would not think that would be a possibility, but there it is. So we had to be bussed the last bit. I mean, everything was really frozen. Oh man. So, and it's kind of cold out here right now, although nothing too extreme. But for us, it's kind of chilly. But which makes an interesting blend. So it's 1883 flake because we had some snow this last week, and so my work was canceled for a couple of days, basically. Even though I went in, I can walk down to work. I have keys. I can get in. It's no problem. And we moved my workspace. And am I a hoarder? How do you know if you're a hoarder? You know? Yeah, I had a lot of crap, but it's all good crap, right? I mean, it's all very interesting stuff. Like, most of it is paper. And it's, historical Native American stuff, archaeological conclusions, you name it. It's just fascinating stuff. So I guess if I had a librarian's mind, I could catalog it all. But what labels? I don't know. It defies me. Anyway, so I went in a few times, but a friend of mine, he was off from work a couple days too, basically, day and a half, and so we ended up binge watching this show. 1883 has Tim McGraw, Faith Hill, which I'm not, the biggest fans. Who else? I'm coming up blank, but great cinematography, great photography. Oh my gosh. And a storyline that was captive. I mean, it's cowboys and Indians, it's a Western, but I would give it 5 out of 5 stars. And I'm not a TV watcher. I don't know, I just don't find I have the patience or the attention span or whatever for that. It's usually kind of contrived or manipulated or predictable or, yeah. This is really good. I would recommend it. Yeah. I had to join Paramount Plus to see it from Amazon Prime. That whole business just leaves me cold. But what happened to 3 networks and PBS? Anyway, it allows you to binge watch it, and it was. I would actually say it was spectacular. And the values, not family values, but the values, ethics of it are very congruent with my own. So it's actually a prequel, apparently, to Yellowstone, which is supposed to be like the most watched show in America right now. And nobody's paying attention to it because it's all, the liberal media doesn't agree with the values or something. I don't know. I don't care. But I have not watched Yellowstone. So this, if Yellowstone is half as good as 1883, it's worth watching. So anyway, good diversionary TV. A bit of Willa Cather on the prairie. In Elsa's musings, her aphorisms, and it has its brutality, but honestly, that's great TV if you ask me. Yeah, teach their own. But several days later, we're still talking about it, and I think that's a good sign of quality product when it sticks with you. It isn't just a disposable diversionary pleasure, right? So anyway, recommend it. Great performances. I thought they were really, really, really good. And, it kind of captures the bigger picture, the American dream, and it's kind of the world's dream in a way. Um, I haven't really coalesced this into thoughts, so I'm just kind of thinking out loud. But I think that is one reason why it struck me, is it allows us to revel in an experience of the American dream, when that dream was forming up for a lot of immigrants. And it's about traveling on one of the stems of the Oregon Trail, kind of late in 1883. Trains were becoming transcontinental at that point, and we're taking over, oh thank God, from the wagon trains. Oh my gosh. Anyway, if you've seen it, maybe leave me a note on what you thought of it too. But whatever you thought of it, I don't, It was not a bad smoke. It's interesting, but there is just that little hint of soapiness in there on the side, kind of low down off to the side. So I think some Lakeland found its way in there. I was trying to avoid that. But yeah, has anybody else ever done that? Just had all your little baggies. They're getting pretty dried up, and so you decide, well, it's now or never. So whoosh into a big mixing bowl, and it becomes my mixture 3001, my mixture 1883. Yeah, so kind of a good way to deal with that stuff. And these little Dorans are great. It's got actually a really small bowl capacity. He's gone to finally widening out his bowls. But I love these pipes. Great job, Brian, great job. Except they could be a little bigger in the bowl, but oh well. It is what it is. And it has a look that is just, I think, just great. So, yeah. But watching some quality video production kind of makes you think about how things are filmed, and the light, how they capture a big sky and a wide open space. Probably anamorphic lenses, but great stuff. Great cinematography, I thought. And I'm not really a Western aficionado. To me, they're often just so rote, so predictable, so moralistic, Makes some good smoke, this. There's quite a bit of pretty dried up tobacco in there. So it burns pretty well. All right, let's get pretty dark. It's not snowing. It's not really raining. So, count your blessings. As long as you're dressed comfortably. I have these great wool pants, really thick wool pants from Woolrich, and they're really cozy. You just have to kind of wool up and stay warm that way.